All right, it's 5:30. We'll get this regular city council meeting of the City of International Falls to order. First item on the agenda is a pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please note that all members of the council are present. On our agenda today, the first item is going to be to approve the agenda. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as written.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilor Buller,
Second.
second by Councilor Wegner. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Go to the approval of the minutes. We have minutes from March 4th, 2024, regular city council meeting. Chair would entertain a motion to approve those.
I'll move.
We have a motion by Councilor Kaler,
Second.
second by Councilor Holden. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Next, we go to last Monday's committee of the whole meeting. Chair would entertain a motion to approve those.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Councilor Buller,
Second.
second by Councilor Wegner. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Go to payments and claims. We have a resolution before us to transfer payments and claims. We have some transfers going from the 401 permanent improvement is $66,666.66. That's coming from the 601 water and the 603 sewer evenly of $33,333.33. We have funds going to the 403 reserved for capital outlay of $20,567.25. That's coming from the 601 water in the amount of $14,693 and going from the 603 sewer in the amount of $5,874.25 for a total transfers of $87,233.91. We have accounts payable, City of International Falls claims of $412,557.73, and International Falls Library Board claims of $4,343.73, for a total accounts payable of $416,901.46. Chair would entertain a motion to adopt the resolution approving the transfers and payments of claims.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Councilor Holden.
I'll second.
We have a second by Councilor Kaler. Discussion. Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Next, we'll go to audience. Does anyone in the audience have anything to bring forward that's not on the agenda? You're on the agenda. All right, we'll close that. We'll go down to new business. Reconsider the forgiving of the sewer portion of a water bill. Deb Friesen, please come forward.
I'm not very good at this.
It's okay.
Right here, is this for you?
Yep,
Mommy?
yep.
All right. To the best of my understanding, you guys have a read over my water bill,
Yep.
which dates back from 4/9 of 18 to 5/14 of 18. I realize it's a few years, but it's just been bugging me that I paid $2,000, oh, I gotta get my cheaters on, $2,360.30. It was brought up to the council back in 18. However, to the best of my understanding, there was not a full council. It ended up in a tied vote. So what I'm hoping that will happen, that you guys will reconsider the action with having a full council on this. I'm not looking to get the water usage reimbursed. I'm looking to get the sewer fee reimbursed for the fact that it did not go down the toilet, did not go down the sink, it did not go down the drain. It was coming out from a water hose that was connected in my backyard, and it went in the swamp. So there's no sewer usage for that. So I didn't have enough confidence to bring this address up myself back then. I'm hoping that we can get this resolved, and I'm looking for the $1,440.77 reimbursed for the sewer.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Is that it?
Yep, absolutely. And if we have any questions, we'll ask questions from you.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
So I ended up sitting on Public Works when this came up years ago, and Ms. Friesen is correct. It did fail on a 2-2 tie because we did not have a full council. So at this time, the chair would entertain a motion to bring up this action to discuss again at this time. Is there a motion to bring this back up before the council this
I'll
evening?
make that motion.
We have a motion by Councilor Holden to bring this conversation back up. Do we have a
Second.
second? We have a second by Councilor Wagner. All right. Any discussion to bring this before the council again to discuss today? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Now it's before us. I would guess I would like to just ask, and I know I'm putting him on the spot, but the Public Works Director to come up real quick and just give a reason of why the city council had, what the discussion was years ago of why we would not be reimbursing water that does not go down the sewer.
To be honest with you, I do not remember this one
Okay.
from 2018, so I don't know how it came out of Public Works and how it got here. That's,
Okay.
when I seen it on the agenda last week, I had to call Betty. I do not remember it.
Okay?
I just know that in the past, we've dealt with a lot of these, and, you know, there's some that we've agreed, or the council has reimbursed, and some you haven't, and it's been a long time since you approved waiving the sewer fee, so.
And I believe one of the conversations that did happen a couple years back is when water does just get out, it may not directly go into the sewer, but it could get into the storm sewer and ultimately get back into the wastewater sewer.
Yes, yes, and without knowing the exact situation, our I&I is terrible, okay? I remember one not too long ago that came that said the water couldn't have went down the sewer, but they went under the house, and it wasn't that wet, right? There was 50,000 gallons that was leaked, and it wasn't under the house because it went down the drain, right? Old pipes. I don't know the situation. That's why I'm not comfortable saying either way.
Okay, fair enough. Thank
So,
you.
yep.
Does anyone have any questions with the Public Works Director?
No,
Okay.
but I'd like, can we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so because we didn't have the proper number of people at that meeting on the council, and it went 2-2, and it wasn't brought up again, and we don't know exactly the whole story on that, I'd just as soon take care of it.
That's,
Yep, please. Yep, no problem. And Deb, do you have anything to add that you'd like to bring forward?
I do. So, we were leaving to go to Wisconsin after this ordeal, and I had the city of International Falls come to shut my water off because I did not want the same incident happening while I was gone. And the two employees that came over to shut the water off, they did come right out and tell me that they were aware of the water being used, wondering why the meter was going the way it was. I realize that it's not up to the city to call, notify everyone, but there was a red flag, they did notice it. And you would think that they would out of consideration, maybe, hey Deb, give me a call or let me know what's going on. My meter is running crazy for 1 month. That's all I needed to add.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone have any questions or discussion? And again, this one is relatively old, so I think that I don't have all of the information, but please.
Well, the problem I have with it is are we setting a precedent then for everything?
We've done it both ways, Walt. We've done it both ways. Taken case by case by case accordingly. And apparently
I
we've
don't
given
remember
some
when-
people some money and some we
Or
haven't.
when we ever have done it since I've been on here.
Well,
I don't remember any that I've been on
We've never
either.
been on here.
Just two. One, from the minutes from the Public Works there, it says the committee recommends forgiveness of the sewer portion. Then the other question I have is, do you remember why you voted against that?
I don't.
Okay.
And it very well could have been from the precedent piece, because again, it's been so long.
That's all I got.
Any other discussion? All right, well, since we have this before us, the chair would entertain a motion to refund the sewer portion of the water bill. If
I'll
that's
make
the
that
conversation
motion.
we're having.
I'll make
All
the
right, we have a motion by Counselor Holden. We have a second.
Second.
Second by Counselor Wagner. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 No.
And I'll vote no as well. All right, it passes on 3-2. Thank you. All right, we will go to acknowledge and approve the library board request to transfer funds from Fund 205 Library in the amount of $4,523.50 to zero and close the Fund 206 Zerkowinski. Anyways, yes, we're going to do that. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that.
So
I'll move. Yep.
Second.
We have a motion by Counselor Wagner. We have a second from Counselor Buller. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. We'll go to approve advertising for bids for the Fifth Street Storm Sewer Relocation Project. Ted Brokaw.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This has been requested by Coochin County as part of their jail relocation project. When the city vacated 7th Avenue for the county for the Veterans Memorial, the storm sewer was left in there. So part of this project requires us to relocate the sewer, or the storm sewer. So the city will bid the project, and I know Betty is working on a resolution from or get something in front of the county that, they're going to pay for the
They're going to
project.
pay for it.
Yep, but
Okay.
we've got to get it out because with their timeline, but I know Betty was working on that today to get some language over there to get it approved, but I think we're better off to get it out there and advertise and get it out there, and hopefully at the next meeting, we can have something in front of you for the reimbursement from the county.
Okay.
Chair would entertain a motion to approve advertising for bids.
I'll make that
We
motion.
have a motion by Counselor Holden. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Counselor Kaler. Discussion?
I guess maybe, should we amend the motion that, I mean, I know we can always rescind bid requests and stuff, but that pending the county paying for the moving, or is it fine with just the
Have they
motion for
said
the
they're going to
bids?
pay for it, Ted?
Yes, in our discussions they have, but
Okay.
I know that Betty's working on a resolution because it's not something that's very common. I
Right.
know she was working with the county administrator to come up with some sort of language that, they would accept the financial.
And it'll end up just being basically like with the Roder project, well, kind of,
A little bit different.
kind of, but different.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
Okay.
And it, as long as we have that piece in there before we open bids,
Yeah.
but I don't, if we don't get that, then we don't recommend to accept the bids.
Oh, perfect.
If that
That's what I
if that makes sense.
We can do that, yeah.
That's-
Just advertising.
Yep, just, they've got a tight timeline, we don't want to hold them up.
Sure.
I noticed we went and cut the trees down in the boulevard already, the storm sewer's going to go under the boulevard. I see that they're advertising and they've got their contractors, so we don't want to be in their way, we don't want to hold that project up.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Deb.
Next, we have approval of professional services agreement with Lodestar Psychology and Consulting for mental wellness sessions for the City of International Falls Police Department. Chief Koscheck.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. You have before you my letter of request as well as an email with the approximate cost for mental health service for our officers. We talked about this at our public safety meeting earlier. Just another portion of the different things we're trying to do for our officers. We're looking at a holistic approach, which is physical, mental, and emotional. I think it goes without saying that we're in dire need of it in law enforcement, and the more we can do for them at the outset of their careers, the better they're going to be at the end. This is another important part of it. It would be a voluntary annual session to start out with. I'd probably look to ask for more next year if it looks to be a success with additional sessions being offered by the city for the police officers. The cost is approximately $2,800. To be taken out of our professional services account. I would note too that this has been budgeted for the past 2 years already, a mental health service, so just solidifying all the details for it.
So, if everybody uses it, it's the same price as if nobody uses it? It's just having the services available?
No, they charge per officer per
Okay.
use, so I figured that we'd have 14 officers using it. Cost could very well be less. I'm
Okay.
hoping it comes out to that, though.
Perfect. All right, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the professional services agreement. We have a motion by Counselor Buller,
Second?
second by Counselor Wagner. Does anyone have any questions for Chief Koscheck? I think this is fantastic for the staff. I appreciate you bringing this forward. Call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Legislation and Land Use Committee recommendations. Approve the ESX Technology Solutions Proposal Network Antivirus and Security Enhancements as presented by Todd Ojala. Todd, do you have anything to bring forward?
Mr. Mayor, Council. So yeah, as I presented at the Land Use Commission meeting, this proposal is for some enhanced cybersecurity in terms of all aspects of our computers and networks, network detection and response, enhanced firewalls, endpoint detection and response that'll replace the current firewall, current antivirus, and then managed detection and response, meaning if we get an attack or something happens, we'll have a real live people at ESX to help respond, or, in the middle of the night, So I think it's a really good thing, especially since our buildings are now controlled by, access systems that are on the network. So, it's even more important to get better security.
All right. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll move.
We have a motion by Counselor Taylor.
Second.
Second by Counselor Holden. I got thrown off because I was going to say Holden. I knew it wasn't right.
And now we got close to the same shirts,
Yeah,
yeah.
you guys are almost the same
I can
person.
see, yeah.
All right, so we have a motion by Counselor Holden, a second by, we have a motion by Counselor Taylor, second by Counselor Holden.
That's right.
Any
Maybe this
discussion?
one, I'm twice as big and got a big old gray beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You guys are the same color.
Yeah.
All right.
Right here.
Yes.
Question. When does our current one run out?
Well, at that land use meeting, it was about 90 days, so
Yeah, we
two,
I love that.
So that
two-
everybody's aware.
Yeah. So less than 3 months, but 60 days or so?
All right. If there's no other, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Thank you. All right, we next have approval for some 2024 licenses for Edward Oil Incorporated, doing business as Lucky 7 General Stores at 1100 3rd Avenue. It's a cigarette license, restaurant license, and gasoline pump license. Chair would entertain a motion to approve those licenses.
I'll make,
Everybody wants to, all right.
Well, we
I
can't
hope there's gonna be a
I think he won.
All right, we're gonna give it to.
I can step, I
He
can
was
step
next.
back. I can step.
Somebody wants to see that gas station open.
Darn right I want to see that open
Wagner,
again.
and who wants to go for the second?
Counselor Holden can.
Counselor Holden's going for it.
Counselor second, or Counselor second. Counselor Holden has the second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Next, we go to Public Works recommendations, Northland Securities, professional services for utility rate study. Ted Brokaw.
Brokaw again.
Do we have any water?
That's-
Can you run her out a
Yeah.
glass of water, please?
Crystal's in there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As I mentioned at the Committee of the Whole last week, this is an agreement with Northland Securities as part of, as we're getting closer to coming up with what we're going to do with the water plant, with the planned rehab project. This is going to go through our water and sewer rates. It's going to go through our accounts. It's going to help us better understand what we're going to have to do when it comes to debt service. One of the things I brought up at budget time was trying to merge our permanent improvement fund with our cap outlay, and be more in line with up-to-date accounting practices for our utility side of the operation. The permanent improvement fund is very antiquated, and nobody really knows. You know, I'm reading a book, and it just happens to be about city government back in the 40s and 50s, and that's the only reference I can see to permanent improvement fund. But as part of the charter, back in the day, that was a requirement, and with the changes with the charter now, that's no longer needed. So this is a first step, and it's very important for us to be able to get a better idea of where we're at when we bring in front of you the planned funding mechanism for rehabbing the plant.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that rate study.
So moved.
We have a motion by Counselor Buller,
Second.
second by Counselor Holden. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Can I ask one question? You laughed. Was it because I'm reading a book, or that I'm reading a book about a city?
No, it's because I have enough conversations with you that not only do I know what type of book it is and I can tell you what city it is. It's
Milwaukee?
It's Milwaukee. And, you know, the references to the mayor and the other programming on PBS and everything else that you've had me watch about the city of Milwaukee.
And he's been reading the book for a long time, though.
I know he was on vacation reading that book because he sent me a picture like this with the book at his feet. So, no, that is why I laughed, because Milwaukee may be where you should be.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Ted. All right, we'll go to the reports of the administrator, attorney, department heads, deputy city administrator.
I have nothing this evening.
All right, city attorney,
Don't have anything.
department heads. Police, fire, EMS monthly report is in your packet. The police monthly report is also in the packet. Reports of the mayor, council, committees, boards, and commissions. Anybody have anything to bring forward?
We have the first airport,
Yes.
what's it called?
Steering committee.
Steering committee tomorrow,
Oh, good.
3 PM.
Good.
Just so everybody's aware.
All right. And I believe on our next, I did speak with the city administrator, I believe on our next city council agenda, we're going to be having approval for folks to go to that airport regional meeting. So additional information from how other cities are funding their airports and such. So appreciate that. Anything else?
Well, we had a public safety meeting today. Pete attended, and we had a lot of things on there that we went through, a lot of good stuff, everything from purchasing of ambulances to radios in the future, and talked about the mental wellness program, and that got approved tonight. Everything's been approved pretty much, and that committee's going good, it really is. I'm proud of the police chief, fire marshal, fire chief, and all those that are in attendance on that, because we do talk about safety of city employees quite a bit, so, which is very important on the job. And I'm glad we got that committee. It's pretty new, but we, with Adam chairing that committee, Manasa, he's got a full agenda every time we meet, and we go through a lot of good stuff, so,
Wonderful.
yeah.
And one thing we did also, we talked a little bit more about our whole facilities study and
We did.
dug into a little bit of what maybe we should, maybe some back where to start, where we need to start now.
Okay.
A little bit, right? Like, look at what are our options, because one thing we mentioned about the BKV study, it kind of went from 0 to 60.
Yep.
There wasn't a lot of ideas for refurbishing and stuff like that, different spots. So like we said, we'll just get together as a committee whole, sometime and maybe work out a little more direction of
Far as-
what we're thinking. And one thing we also talked about, we probably still want to keep going ahead with the Kerry Park project just for the fact that we've been working down at the state. And we got the money for the plan, just not to get a bad bonding taste in their mouth about International Falls.
Yeah.
A little bit like that, and then all the other important stuff. Like
Yeah,
that.
it'd be good at a committee of the whole to talk more about the facility stuff. so.
Okay, perfect.
And I don't know if I'll be able to go back, because I might have talked too much. I know that's hard for everybody to believe.
Fair enough.
Ted, is Kerry Park closed now, then, or are you keeping it open? 30th, okay. The used compressor's running okay, or whatever it was?
Got that put in, and, yeah, everything went well this weekend. Good, but we got
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't down there, but I was at the Elks and for the meal and stuff and served and.
Nobody was blaming you for the clogged toilet.
Well, I wasn't taken, and I wasn't defending myself about it.
I thought you were. I thought
Well,
you
I
were.
didn't have anything else, and we could get into that whole thing, but why don't we keep it classy right now, huh? But on the hockey trip, it looked like another raging success in town. I just know from helping out at the Elks with the meal and the banquet and all that, the Elks had a wonderful night. I know the restaurants and bars are all full, so, yeah, another good weekend for Tom.
Absolutely. And just for mayor's report on last Wednesday, myself and Chief Manassa did meet with Senator Smith's office regarding reimbursement rates for Medicare and Medicaid. And Chief Manassa did a fantastic job outlining the issues that we have. And again, we weren't the only ones at the table. There were areas all over northern Minnesota, from Fertile, Minnesota to Grand Rapids. There was probably 8 or 9 communities that were representative there, and we all have the same issues, and it was a very good discussion. On Thursday, I went down to the state legislature.
Was that the Black Duck one?
Yes, yep, that was in Black Duck.
Who'd you meet with from Colbert, or Smith's office?
Pete
Majikowski.
Majikowski,
Yep.
yes. And it was a very good, good turnout and very good conversation. The one thing is Senator Smith is making a legislative, or looking to make a legislative change, so if we have a call out, but we don't have to transport, for instance, there's a incident, we get called out there and we provide some form of aid, but yet they don't go to the hospital. As of right now, we don't get any funding for that call. It would provide funding for that call to the ambulance service. So there's some stuff there. There was also a little bit of conversation about rural rates and just reimbursement. I mean, that was the whole conversation. And then on Thursday, I went down to the state legislature and I met with Senator Housechild and a handful of representatives regarding EMS specifically. I did not talk about the Cary Park project. It was specifically on EMS and trying to get through Senator Housechild's bill to provide funding for ambulance services that are in the rears. Conversation went very well. Ended up speaking with Representative Hewitt and Representative Liz Lagarde, who are both sitting on the EMS task force and have bills in the state. And I've been expressing support for any legislation that helps out rural communities. So that went well on Thursday. Those are the two things that I had to report. But I think we just keep chugging along, and I know that we have a couple more days where there's legislative action days at the state, and I would encourage anyone to go to those. Interesting side story, I think it was at our Committee of the Whole meeting last week where we were talking about St. Louis County days and Duluth days. When I was down there on Thursday, that happened to be Beltrami County and Bemidji Day. So it would not be unique for the city and the county to have a legislative action day at the state, but it would be negotiation and working with all of our other entities in northern Minnesota to be able to have those priorities at the state. Because like Councilor Wagner has said, if you don't have your...
If you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
That's right. I love that. All right, so that's all I have. We'll go to audience. Is there anyone in the audience that has anything to bring forward? Hearing none, there's correspondence in your packet from the Coochin County Board of Commissioners, the Minnesota Department of Economic Development, and the Public Library Board of Trustees. Our next meeting is going to be on Monday, April 1st at 5:30. This meeting is adjourned.